Welcome back to the Tiberium Hangar. This is Mike, and today I'm going to take a look at the DX9 Mini Michael Murphy. This is a very G1S Chromedome headmaster, and it's pretty interesting. Shozy sent this out to me as an advance review sample copy, no box, and I want to say thank you to Shozy. There's a link down below where you can get yours for pre-order, and I also want to say thanks to you guys for putting the TH in that reviewer code so I can get this. The TH reviewer code box supports your reviewer, and I'm on a list to get stuff like this. Very honored to get this in an advanced copy and take a look at it. But let's get into looking at this guy, because this is not just a figure I'm reviewing. I was waiting years to get my hands on a Chromedome so I can finish my team. So I finally get to finish the team of 4 headmasters with this guy today in this video. Let's take a look at this. Coming up. Alright, this is the packaging that was shipped to me. I didn't get them in a box, got them in a bag. I'm fine with that, so we're just going to get him out of here and get into talking about it. But there he is. Does have weapon storage on the top, as you can see, for both of his guns. Does come with 2 guns. That is pretty cool. And you're going to see that with a lot of these headmasters. They've got the 2 guns. Now, we'll be honest. The biggest complaint about this figure that I heard from a lot of people was that the alt mode does not look all that great. We will do comparisons, and I will admit that the alt mode is the weaker of the 2, and you'll get a comparison to a G1 and to other Legends figures. But I do want to point out that it does maintain one of the basic features to where you can put the headmaster in here, which is pretty cool, and that's a good thing that they've maintained that. And getting them out is probably not as easy as getting them in, but let's get that closed back up, and we'll take a look at this guy here in a little bit. But looking at him, it does implement the use of faux wheels for the transformation. Then there'll be some smaller wheels, I guess you can see them hidden in there, that have like smaller kibble wheels versus the real wheels in here. But it looks pretty cool, it looks pretty interesting. Yes, it's not quite as perfect, but see, these were kind of Cybertronian vehicles anyway. They weren't based on real cars anyway, but does it match? We'll look in the comparisons. So not really a whole lot to say here. There's a little bit of paint that carries over from the robot mode, and then we got paint on the windows there, but not a whole lot of excessive paint in it. The transformation, when we get to it, it is a little bit on the complex side, almost like a masterpiece type of transformation in a way. But of course, since it is smaller, it is scaled down in the number of steps. But let's take a look at this headmaster, and then we can get into some comparisons. Here's the headmaster, really small, tiny little guy. I'm not even sure if I'm picking up everything. He's got a little bit of paint on the face. Arms actually do not move. They're just kind of painted on there. I mean, I couldn't figure out a way to get them to move. And then you just fold them in half to get to the head. So we're gonna just put them into the head and put them aside for now. Alright, so here he is compared to a G1, and as you know, my G1s are not the greatest. I got them for real cheap back in the day. But it's a representation of G1, and you've got a lot of the similarities. It's a little shorter in the front end than this one here. Then, of course, you have the chest, which is right here, and you have we'll see that feature. And the opening canopy there, which is interesting, but it's much shorter on this one. Obviously, design-wise, kind of cram it all in there to make it happen. One of the things that you notice is that the side pieces, which for this one are pretty much the arms, they are much shorter and smaller on this than you see with the classic one. Now, is this a better way to go about it than this, or would you have wanted it to look like this? It just depends. I'm probably not going to have this in alt mode ever again once I get it transformed, so it's not a big deal to me. But some people really do like the alt modes of theirs. But it's not based on a real car. It's kind of a Cybertronian kind of car. That's what it looks compared to a G1. Here he is in a mixture of New Age and Magic Square. Magic, New Age. I believe Magic Square, Magic Square, Magic Square. These are all based on real vehicles, though, so that's why they look like this. And I'm not sure what model of spaceship that was. I couldn't remember, but just kidding. Anyway, that's how you can see. It's massively big for fitting in with these, but the bot mode is really all that matters to me when it comes to scale. All right, for the transformation, it is a little interesting here. We are going to separate this and pull these out, and we are going to lift these out. So the legs, the way they work, as you can see, let me pull this. This is going to come down and it's going to form the leg, kind of. You're just building the leg. The leg's split apart in two parts there, and it gets built. We need to get this top section out of the way so we can free up these legs to do what they're going to do. And then this foot comes out. Now, the way they did the foot was really strange. It's really strange. We need to lift this up, fold this around, and then we're going to fold this back to create that foot. And that's the faux, that's kind of the faux wheel that I was talking about. Then this is going to come down, and it's going to fold down and around, and it's going to create the leg. Like so. The foot goes into it, and you've got a leg. So it's an interesting way that they did it. And it works, and it's pretty solid too. I mean, there's a little bit of minor gappiness to it, but it's not really that hard. It is just interesting how they did it. So we can bring this down, form the front, and then we need to bring this out so that we can do the rotation of the foot, and rotate it around, and then bring this back in, and we're going to seat it in. But let's go ahead and do this whole flipperoo on this bad boy here. Bring it around. Come on. The first one was a little easier than this one. There it goes. And then you can get it all pegged in. There's a tab here and a tab here for it to peg into, and then the foot will seat in, and then you have the legs. I like to start with the legs because it makes things a whole lot easier. Now, getting up to the top, we're going to fold out the arms, and then we're going to fold around the chest. These pieces here come up, and then we're going to, this part here is a little tricky. You flip this around, and then you're going to bring this out and bring the arm down. Coincidentally, getting into alt mode, you can pretty much do the reverse of all that, but that gets that arm. Same thing over here, and you got to get the arm out of the way so you can flip it around, bring this in, and then fold the shoulder down. And then got to position all this correctly. And then you can bring the chest down into the area. Well, actually, do the fold in after it comes down. So it folds in like so. There it goes. And this back piece is going to go into place here. And there are tabs, 2 tabs that go into the slots. Tab that in, put that there, and then we are going to do the head. I form the head. So make sure I get that in there just right. Make sure you get the neck out. I didn't get the neck out, but I don't have instructions, so I'm just winging it and having fun over here. Well, is it fun winging it? But yeah, you definitely have to have that neck piece out. It plugs in to there, and you have yourself a headmaster. There it goes. The head does turn on the headmaster, which is something that I guess I didn't notice when I was taking a look at it. So you have to have the head lined up just right to fit in that little slot, and there it goes. There's the figure. We are going to get into taking a look at this guy coming up. So here he is in his bob mode. I saw kind of an interesting wild pose in one of the Show Z pictures. I was like, can I pull it off? Can I do that pose? I think I sort of got it, but all right, here he is in his bob mode. Try to pull off some crazy poses with him. And he's quite a level of articulation that you can get some crazy poses with him. And he's a good looking bot. And that is definitely, Chromedome definitely fits the bill. And as I was saying, it's got some masterpiece elements to it. I mean, a lot of the New Age and the Magic Square are implementing the similar types of things, but when we get into this, I'll show you what's implemented that has some masterpiece touch and feel to it. But getting into, there's his face, which looks pretty nice, which we kind of already saw that. It's got the blue eyes with a little bit metallic to it, and then got the face on there. When you see my G1, it's a better face than my G1. It does open up right here so that you can see the faux specs that are on it, and then close that back up. And then getting down here, there's not a lot of paint. So there's paint right here. That's pretty much it. And then the paint that's on the car. So it's not heavily painted, if that's something that you wanted. Will DX9 come out and do highly painted versions? I don't know. They're still new into this whole realm, or getting back into this realm. So I don't know if they're going to do reissues with paint on them, or if they're just going to make this and move on to the next one. I'm not really sure about that. There's the faux wheels I was talking about right here and right here, which look cool, and it's part of the character. But as you can see, those would not have been big enough for the car mode. And the way they engineered it, the wheels are actually inside here, and that is cool. It is interesting that they did it that way, and that's I'm fine with it. Now, some people aren't, but if you're going for tune accuracy in the bot mode, then that is something that you kind of need. Head does articulate, but clean from the back, as I pointed out during the transformation, that this here is slight amount of gapping in the middle there, but for the most part, I mean, it is pretty solid. And for a Legends figure, I'm perfectly fine with that. If this was a masterpiece, there would have been some sort of extra panel coverage right here, but I'm perfectly fine with the way that looks, especially because he looks so good up in the front. Let's go ahead and get into articulation, and then what I think is the most important part, of course, is comparisons. You'll be surprised how it scales with some of these figures. All right, head, side to side. There's no up and down, it's just side to side. Shoulder goes up. He can do some Saturday Night Live, Saturday Night Fever, live, whatever. 360, of course. Till I say 360, it got hung up on something. And then you got the bicep swivel. And it's like a double. It's a bicep swivel there. Double jointed elbow, maybe? No, it just goes past there, but it's not quite double jointed. It's everything I would need. And then the hand is side to side, and you got up and down on the hand because of the transformation, the way it works. So that's actually a win right there. And then getting down into the waist, you got ab swivel. You do have a crunch. I'm not getting much out of it, but I'm seeing pictures of a much deeper ab crunch than this. But I'm not getting as deep. I don't really care, though. I mean, that's all I would ever need. Right here to the 90, going to the back, it doesn't go back any further than that. Thigh swivel right here. Put that back there. Double jointed knee, so you can do some great stuff with that double jointed knee. And thigh swivel. Feet up and down. Pivot forward a little bit. Side to side. You will have to manipulate these a bit to get some side rocker out of them. But you can get everything you need out of the articulation with this guy. I believe he's pretty much on point with what you'd expect for articulation. Getting back to this hiding, it's not really a hiding hip flap, but it is a hiding hip flap in a way. And I like that. I think that that is the best way to do them in 2024. First comparison is going to be to the G1, and yeah, Gimpy G1 I got going on over here, and his face doesn't even have the top part, so the flap's gone. I got him real cheap, so I'm not complaining, but you can see the aesthetic comparison. I want to say this thing absolutely blows away the G1. Yeah, it's smaller, but absolutely blows away what the G1 was going for, how it looks. I mean, this looks fantastic, fits the cartoon way better than the G1. But how does it scale with the McFans Toys KO oversized ones that they made not too long ago? So these are the KO oversized of the Unique Toys version of Headmasters. And people are saying that DX9 and Unique Toys are either one and the same or working together, collaborating, which I never really knew or never really figured that one out so much myself. And the more people talk about it, the more things make sense, because Unique Toys and DX9 really did start the whole Legends trend. They were at the beginning of the Legends trend, and now coming full circle, coming back with some DX9 Mini, and this works. Now, he's a little smaller than these KO oversized, but I think he fits in fine. I think he looks great. This is my group of Headmasters. Would I want them to remake everyone? No. And I think it was smart that they did the Chromedome because there's so many people like me that were late to the game and didn't get the Chromedome. And the only way to get the Chromedome is to rebuy every Headmaster again, which I wasn't on board with doing that. So with that, he works great for me. I like it. But Prime, I thought you only cared about Season 1 and Season 2. Well, there he goes. This is next to the Magic Square Optimus Prime, the 1.0. I don't have a 2.0 yet because they didn't give me one in this paint scheme. And I've talked about that a lot. And then this is the first. Is it the first? I lose track of which version of the Arnod this is. But both great molds. That's how it scales. And then I almost forgot to show this feature. So that's what the little status bar, whatever, looks like. Speed, strength, and all that kind of stuff compared to the G1. All right, so what do I think about this guy? I think that he looks really good in his bot mode. And the alt mode is probably not the best, but I have not put any of mine back into their alt mode. So all my Headmasters are pretty much in bot mode, and they stay that way. And for good reason, that's just how I display them. He looks good. He's got the articulation you need, and it turns out his bicep has a ball joint in it. I should have discussed that back then, but I didn't. Anyway, you can get it in the closing notes here. And he's got everything you need for articulation. The transformation is interesting. It's not ridiculously complex, but it does have some masterpiece elements to it. For me personally, I was missing this guy to complete my Headmasters, and I was waiting for another McFans Toys reissue, and I like this one. This one works. This one gets the job done. And so with that, I want to say thank you to Show Z for sending this out, this sample out for me to review. Thank you to you guys who put TH in the reviewer code so I could get stuff like this to review and show you guys early, and I hope to get more things like this in the future. This is exciting. It's a lot of fun. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and Tiberium Hanger out.
And we're all Headmasters now, Prime.